Hi, this is David again. Am I a little frustrated? Yes. Am I a little upset? Yes. Is it because I had dealings with Mormons this morning? Yes. Um, what will a Mormon accept as evidence of anything? If you say to a Mormon, there's gravity on the earth, and if you throw something down, it will fall, they'll say, no, that's just a rumor on the internet. That's evil people trying to scare you so that you cannot believe in Jesus. The quick answer to my question is, what will Mormons accept as evidence? They're in a fantasy world, or that they're in a cult, or the things that they've been told are not true. The answer is nothing. That's the simple answer. I would rather sit here in front of this camera and talk to myself all day long for the rest of my life than to talk to one Mormon for 10 minutes. I talked to my brother for 10 minutes this morning, who believes the church is a cult, who believes the church is, etc., etc. He's not a member of the church anymore. He was excommunicated. But he believes in Joseph Smith, the child molester. And he believes in the book of fascination that is hidden in heaven to test all of our faith, the Book of Mormon. He's a returned missionary, and he still cannot read anything on the internet that has anything factual, in his words, anti-Mormon. They are trained from early infancy that if it doesn't come from the mouth of their own prophets, it's not true. And here's the hilarious part of that statement. You can say, your prophet said that the blacks can't hold the priesthood, that they have dark skin, and that they have the blood of Cain, and that's why they're being punished. They used to sit on the fence in the pre-existence, and now they're being punished by God to come to the earth. Oh, and in 1978, the IRS was threatening religious organizations that discriminated, and voila! Voila! Spencer W. Kimball gets Jesus in his room. And Jesus says, Spencer, I think it's time that I stop punishing the black man for the dark skin. And let's let him hold the priesthood, and let's let him be a full member of the church. You know, it's hard. It's very hard for me to go outside that front door every day and come in contact with these creatures. Humans, hey, you want to say they're humans? I don't care. No matter what evidence, there's not one sword, there's not one shield, there's not one gravesite, there's not one bone in upstate New York that shows there was 1 million people killed where Joseph Smith found the gold plates. Oh, well, maybe they haven't looked good enough. It's only been 200 years. Well, maybe they found them and hid them to try to make the church look bad. Are these people that stupid? And the answer is yes. I don't care if they're an attorney. I don't care if they're a businessman, a CPA, the head of a construction company. Are they stupid? You're damn right. You bet your ass they're stupid. There is no evidence for the Book of Mormon. There are things mentioned in the Book of Mormon, horses and certain wheat and barley and steel. Didn't exist. It didn't even exist in the pre-Americas. But the Mormons say, well, that might have been a mistake by Joseph or someone who translated. Good Lord. They have got an excuse for every fact in the world. Now, I don't want to be unreasonable. Facts are facts, and how they're interpreted is certainly up to the individual. A Mormon may interpret Joseph Smith marrying two 14-year-old girls as a flaming sword from an angel chased him around his house until he said, yes, I'll go ahead and marry him. Well, give that angel my address, will you? Good grief. Two 14-year-old girls. That's the founder. That's the prophet of their church. They think he walks on water. I think he's a child molester. There's no archaeological evidence for the Book of Mormon. Never has been, never will be. And now that we have genetic modern DNA science and research, it shows those South American people have Asian genes. They did not come from the old country, Jerusalem, and Jewish genes. But again, it's like the O.J. Simpson trial. I think Mormons are that stupid that they don't understand DNA and genetic trailing and whatever, and they go, well, that's just the evil people. See, the church is true because everyone attacks us. The church is true because everyone attacks us. That's kind of like a criminal who robs the bank and says, bank robbing is a good thing. We know because the police keep chasing us. They're jealous. Are these people that stupid? It is. It is. And just because they have occupations or professions that may be more prestigious than the working man, that's no reason that they can't be stupid. Believe me, they're stupid. Ron White said it best. You can't fix stupid. You can't fix stupid. My brother this morning, he wanted to know about Joseph Smith's abortions background and how he engaged in abortions for some of the women that he got pregnant there in Nauvoo. And Bennett, the doctor, carried an abortion spoon under his sleeve of his coat to help Joseph out. It was Sister Pratt, Parley P. Pratt's wife, that said those things. And my brother goes, oh, that's not church doctrine. Parley P. Pratt is one of the main characters of the early church, and his wife certainly knew girls that were getting abortions and where they were happening. And no matter what was on the internet, my brother goes, see, that's not true. It is true. Now, if you want to say it doesn't matter, that's a different story. If you want to say, well, gee, Joseph Smith's a full-grown man. He can have as many abortions on his paramours as he wants. Okay, I have no problem with that. But don't tell me he wasn't involved in abortions. Don't tell me he burned down the Nauvoo Expositor because it was about to publish the next day his shenanigans with sex and young girls. He didn't want that going into Nauvoo, and he found the paper to be a public nuisance, and he was the mayor of the town, and they burned it to the ground. Don't tell me he died in Carthage jail because the word of the Lord is true and people hated him because of that. He died in Carthage because he destroyed a public printing press. Freedom of the press is a fairly important thing in the United States. Don't tell me he went there as a martyr. He had a gun. He shot through the door at least 3 times and killed 2 people that were trying to get to him. He wasn't a martyr. He was a child molester. Seldom, in fact never, when I was in the Mormon church, did I hear the true story about his tar and feathering. I was always led to believe, oh, he's the prophet of the Lord. Evil people are trying to get him and stop the gospel from spreading throughout the world. Well, let me tell you what the truth of the matter is. There was a doctor in the group that's tarred and feathered Joseph Smith. He was hired to be there, and his job was to cut off the testicles of Joseph Smith because the community was so upset that he is screwing the young girls and the wives of men who were on missions. And they thought he was a little too promiscuous, and maybe this particular procedure would slow him down. Have you ever heard that? No. If you've been in the LDS church, you never heard that he was supposed to have been castrated that night, and through the chaos and what went on there, the job didn't get done. Much to the dismay of many girls in Nauvoo, I'm sure. Be that as it may, I'm going to pretty much summarize what I'm saying. You can talk to Mormons until you're blue in the face. You can talk to them until you're dead. Of course, in their religion, you can talk to them after you're dead. Nothing is going to convince a Mormon that they're wrong, that this is a fallacy, it's a fraud, and that these people have both hands out for the tithing money. Both hands out for the tithing money of the stupid people. If the Mormon church floats your boat and you're a happy person, for God's sake, stay in the Mormon church. If you're self-confident and you're happy and you feel that you have a purpose to your life, Who am I? Who am I to try to take that away from you? No one. No one should try to take that away from you. If you're not happy, then you owe it to yourself. Get off of your chair, get off the couch, get on the internet, and start looking at the history of the Mormon Church from every standpoint. Then make up your own mind. Are you happy? Stay. If you're not happy, for heaven's sakes, get out. You are never going to be able to argue with a Mormon. It can't be done. You do not generally come from a cult. Cults have trained these people since infancy, when they were first born and blessed in the Mormon Church. These people know the answer to every question, and when they don't, they have 100,000 intermediate answers. Well, we don't know all the things of the Lord. The Lord's way is a mysterious way. We'll know all that in the millennium. Well, he might have been talking as a man, not as a prophet. They have this entire subliminal scenario that has been programmed in, like cults do, that if you back them into a corner, they will fly out like a ghost. They're gone. And you're going to feel like I do right now, frustrated, upset that I was so stupid to even talk to him. I'm so stupid. That's my fault. I should say, hey, you know what? Go to church, sit on that bench for 3 hours, give him your money, be a happy guy. I don't care. Because on Sunday, I play. Sunday, I love, because all the Mormons go to church. There's parking everywhere. There's no traffic. Let them go to their church. That's fine. All I'm trying to do is, through this kind of recording, I have therapy. I saw somebody else robbing and plagiarizing someone else's statement, that this is therapy for me. I spent 50 years of my life in a wasted cult. I didn't know I was in it. I don't think the average intelligent person can get out of a cult. They're locked in, and they're mentally and physically abused, and they don't know it. They think it's a good deal. If you've got 7 or 8 different wives and 1 husband, that's normal. That's normal. You got 72 kids, that's normal. So, don't be as frustrated as I was, and you learn. I'm not going to talk to these people. I'm not interested. I can talk to this microphone, and I can talk to you on the screen. If you're interested, you listen. You're not, turn it off. Turn it off. You can't convince these people of anything, and there is no evidence in this world or the next or the world that was, that you could present and a Mormon would go, that's interesting. I didn't know that. And you can start to see the wheels turn. Those wheels have been stripped of gears for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. You're not going to get those wheels to turn with intelligence, with facts, with pictures. They're going to say, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? Everyone is against them. They're a peculiar people. No, they're weird and they're strange. They're not peculiar. They're people who cannot think for themselves, don't want to think for themselves, and generally don't have the intelligence to think for themselves. So you decide for yourself, what can you do to convince a Mormon of anything? Thanks. I feel better. Much better.